Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to Spain for round 5 of the 2002 Formula 1 season. Let's get started.
Located just a few kilometers to the north of Barcelona, the superb Circuit de Catalunya combines medium-speed straights with an interesting selection of slow, medium and high-speed turns. This dedicated motorsports facility is a good example of modern circuit design and is highly rated by most of the teams both as a race and testing venue.
And we start off with qualifying as usual. We're on the first flying lap, and I was losing a lot of time pretty much throughout the entire lap. But eventually we crossed the line in 1:27.551, which was quite slow. The second attempt was completely rubbish, so here's my third attempt, a 1:25.524, and although that is an improvement of a little over 2 seconds, I was still around 3.5 seconds off pole time.
Hello there. Welcome to Spain for round 5 of the 2002 FIA Formula 1 World Championship. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Schumacher first. Montoya consistently outpaced his championship rival, the Renault driver. Raikkonen third. Coulthard fourth. Button was consistently faster than his teammate. He starts fifth. Ralf Schumacher sixth. Barrichello seventh. Heidfeld eighth. Villeneuve ninth. Irvine 10th. Giancarlo Fisichella 11th. Mark Webber 12th. Heinz-Harald Frentzen 13th. Felipe Massa 14th. Mika Salo 15th. Takuma Sato 16th. Olivier Panis 17th. Pedro de la Rosa 18th. Enrique Bernaldi 19th. The Renault driver 20th. Alan McNeish 21st. Alex Young 22nd.
Here we are now on the grid, starting from the 20th spot on the grid. Button is up there in 5th, so well done for him. Meanwhile, we're stuck back here with a bunch of cars in front of us. Lights are out and we're off, and it seems like some of the cars didn't make it off the starting grid. That gives us a massive boost in terms of track position. I think I even saw one of the Ferraris back there. Not entirely sure how many positions I've gained though. Again, for some reason, the part of the LCD that displays track position and lap number doesn't seem to work on this car, and I believe it's because one of the mods I have installed. We now take another look at the start of the race to try and figure out what happened. It looks like both Minardis are stuck, as well as the Ferrari of Rubens Barrichello. That's quite unusual, isn't it? You don't often get three separate cars stuck on the grid. Very peculiar. But we are about to overtake Pedro de la Rosa, which we do, and now we have Takuma Sato up ahead. As we are about to enter my favorite corner on this track, and it looks like Sato goes off the track a bit through here. So I'm going to try and take advantage of that. I take a look on the inside and I probably would have lunged forward were it not for the arrows in front. That's alright though, all is not lost, and besides this is just the first lap of the race, so there's still time to try and gain some positions. As Sato is pulling away a bit. Actually this is the part of the track where I generally lose most of my time. Don't know why, but I just can't seem to get a decent line through the final 3 or 4 corners. But we're now coming around to finish lap 1, as we see waved yellows, and it looks like one of the arrows crashed into the Ferrari of Barrichello. This means that we get a few more positions. I can now see Massa in front. There he is, with his missing rear wing. Seems that he was involved in the crash we witnessed just a few seconds ago, and I carefully make my way around him. Here is the arrows of Heinz-Harald Frentzen. He has Felipe Massa in front of him. As they make their way around the stopped cars, Massa slows down a bit too much, that catches Frentzen off guard and crashes into the Sauber and then into the Ferrari. So not only did we have 3 retirements right off the bat, we now have our 4th retirement of the race. That's 4 retirements in 1 lap. This is turning out to be sort of the theme this season. So far we haven't had a race that didn't include a first lap retirement. A couple of laps later I caught up to Irvine and Villeneuve. I had a look at Irvine on the inside. Unfortunately I was a bit too optimistic about that maneuver and I ended up outbraking myself. This is lap 8 and we're approaching the halfway point of this race, and for some reason Irvine and Villeneuve slowed down through here. Even though Villeneuve is going into the pits, I don't think he should slow down that much. In any case, we've now passed both Irvine and Villeneuve, all the while there is an incident on the track. And here we have Raikkonen, Frentzen, Ralf Schumacher and teammate Johnson Button. Button overtakes Frentzen through turn 1, and I'm guessing Ralf Schumacher tried to do the same, but ended up colliding with Frentzen instead, leading to Schumacher losing his front wing. As I just stated, we're about halfway through the race and we're currently up in P8, which is magnificent, especially since we've started from P20. Not sure if I have the pace to win this race, but I'm sure I can at least score some points. So that's my aim for this race. Towards the end of lap 9, we catch up to the damaged Williams of Ralf Schumacher. I go around him without any resistance and that should put us in P7. At the end of lap 11, I had to come in for fuel and a fresh set of tires. And due to some pit stops being made by the I was able to climb up into 3rd. So now it's time to see how our stop goes, and whether or not we'll be able to regain 3rd. It's a bit doubtful, but I'll try nonetheless. That's a 10.3 second stopper, a bit on the slow side. I would have liked something more closer to 9, preferably 8 seconds, but anyway, it seems that we shall be rejoining the race behind Juan Pablo Montoya, and since he's our championship rival, we need to try and beat him, so let's see to it. 1 lap later I was gaining on Montoya on the start, finish straight. Then I have a look on the inside, outbrake him and move up into 6th. This is exactly what we want. Now let's try to keep him behind. About 2 laps later we were coming into La Casa when I was informed of Panis having some problems with his car. And there's Panis right on the edge of the racing line, a bit too close for comfort. Hopefully the car will be removed before it can cause any problems. But here's a replay. Panis is approaching the tight left-hander at the end of the Nissan straight. He enters the corner. At this point his car is spewing out lots of black smoke. He pulls slightly to the side and he's out. We've just started whatever lap this is, as we see one of the back markers exiting the pits. But most importantly, we managed to climb up into 4th place. And Michael Schumacher would be next. Unfortunately, I don't think I could catch him. A few laps later, we come across another back marker through the Repsol curve. I go a bit too wide on the exit and make contact with De La Rosa. I then quickly checked to see if I still have both my wings. Luckily, I did. We are now coming around to finish the penultimate lap. Unfortunately, I didn't know this at the time, so I braked really early into La Casa because of brake pad wear concerns. That allows Montoya to take 4th, and although I started pushing really hard once I've learned that there's only one more lap, I was unfortunately unable to catch back up to Montoya. As we come out of the final corner of the race, Montoya finishes in 4th, I finish in 5th. A bit disappointing really, but I was really concerned about my brakes, so as the race progressed, I started easing up the power and started applying brakes more gently. But once we get to the in-game results page, you'll see that I still had a lot of my brake pads intact. That was quite a devastating revelation. If only I have known how many laps there were left and how much of my brake pads I have used up. I could have pushed a bit harder, but because we had so many brake problems last season, especially in the first 6 or 7 races, I was a bit afraid that I might end up using the pads completely before the end of the race, and that would have been problematic. Anyway, let's get on to the standings.
After that fantastic Spanish Grand Prix, let's take a look at the final results. Raikkonen first, Coulthard second, Michael Schumacher third, Montoya fourth, the Renault driver fifth, Nick Heidfeld sixth. With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship.
We are now tied with Montoya in first, both with 29 points. Michael Schumacher is second with 24 points, Raikkonen is third with 13 points, Button is fourth with 10 points, in fifth we have Coulthard with 8 points, Ralf Schumacher is sixth with 7 points, Frentzen is seventh with 3 points, Barrichello, Irvine and Heidfeld share eighth with 2 points, and Fisichella is ninth with 1 point.
Renault stay ahead in the Constructors' Championship, despite having their lead reduced by this result. Williams are second, whilst third place is held by Ferrari.
Our team is still in the lead of the Constructors' Championship with 39 points, followed closely by second place Williams with 36 points. In third we have Ferrari with 26 points, McLaren are fourth with 21 points, Arrows are fifth with 3 points, Jaguar and Sauber share sixth with 2 points, and Jordan are seventh with 1 point. I'm a bit disappointed by this result, but again, considering what happened last season during the first few races, you can't really blame me for being so cautious. Losing a position is one thing, but I feel that if my brakes would have failed, I would have lost so much more. Regardless, we are still in the lead of the Drivers' Championship, albeit we are now tied with Montoya. However, I'm pretty sure we can sort that out in the next race, which is the Austrian Grand Prix. Anyway, that's it from me, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.